Hello everyone, my name is Aiden and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be tier ranking all of the books that I read in 2025. If you didn't watch the previous video, which is an introduction to who I am and what this channel is going to be about, I have only been an active reader since September of 2025. Before then, I barely ever read, but then I got put on ADHD medication and that changed everything. I mean, I was able to read and absorb it and enjoy it. So in 2025, I read 18 books. For this tier ranking, I am going to include the books that I DNF'd and also audiobooks. I do think that audiobooks should count as reading to a point. If you're just doing every single book as an audiobook and not like actually physically reading anything ever, then that's not right. Like, get to it, you know? Again, I am going to be tier ranking, but also I am going to be talking about my ratings for these books. I believe that rating is different from ranking. Rating, I think, should be more unbiased, should focus on the writing, plots, characters, all of that. And then lastly, on how you enjoy the book. And then ranking is how I feel about the books. That is the main thing to look at. So let me go over my tiers. Yes, I used AI. Don't come after me, okay? I need help.
Help humans and computers interact with each other.
We have S tier, which is all-time favorites. So life-altering, talked about them constantly, you know. They were perfect or near perfect for me. And then we have A tier, which is excellent and still great book. Had maybe some minor flaws, but still great plot, great writing, great characters. Yeah. B tier it was a good book, you know, maybe some weak points. I may recommend the book to people. Overall, it was good, you know. C tier is just okay, you know, so basically average. And then D is for disappointing.
And you decided not to be better in that moment.
Had potential, but did not deliver. Unfortunately, I maybe forced myself to get through it. And then we have F tier, which is just actively bad. DNF'd it or really forced myself through it. So the way I'm going to be ranking is by reading order, from books I read first to the last book. And then along the way, with each book, I will also tell my rating for it. So we'll be able to see how my rating differs from my ranking. And I forgot to say, I am going to be starting a professional book review course where you learn how to rate books properly. So I'm going to be filming a video on that, and you'll learn which program I am using. If you want to watch that, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification. It feels weird saying all that. But anyways, for this tier rank, the first book that I read in 2025 was Dracula by Bram Stoker. I actually started Dracula a few years ago, but last year I was really trying to get through it, and I liked the beginning of the book. I enjoyed the characters, the plot, the pacing, the writing, all that. But when it changed to becoming back and forth letters and journal entries where like every page was a different person talking, it just kind of lost me there. Maybe it's because I was reading it before starting ADHD medication. I don't know. Maybe now I could finish it, but that isn't really a priority. I didn't actually say. I DNF'd it, yeah. Even though DNFs would usually go into F tier, I did read more than half of it. So I'm gonna put Dracula in D tier because it had a great concept, but it just did not follow through completely for me. So we'll see. Maybe I'll finish it one day, but as of right now, it's not gonna be my focus. The next book that I read is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Rowling. I don't know. Yeah, I started my Harry Potter journey last year, and I read all 7 books. So you're gonna see a lot of Harry Potter on here. The thing with the first few books are that they're very childlike, and the movies, which I remember like the first 3 movies very well. And so the first movie, follows the book pretty closely. So there wasn't a lot of new stuff. The ending was a bit different, all that. So I'm gonna do B tier. And maybe if I didn't know the story already, then it would be higher up. But because I knew it, it wasn't as exciting for me. The next book that I read, which I don't have a physical copy now, is The Silent Patient. This is like a psychological thriller. The main character goes to like a psych ward to help treat this patient where she is basically mute. She wasn't born mute or anything. She can talk, but she won't talk. So he goes there to try to help and figure out her story, and that's all I will say. But I flew through this book. I loved it. It was great. I talked about it a lot. I recommended it to everyone. And the reason I don't have a physical copy anymore is because I gifted it to my grandmother. Yeah, it was so good. And for me, I would say it is life-changing because it was like the beginning of me being an active reader. And that book made me very excited to read more. It made me feel like, wow, books can be really thrilling and exciting. For my ranking, my opinion, The Silent Patient is going to be S tier. Oh, I forgot to say the author's name too. The Silent Patient is by Alex Michaelides, and I gave it a rating of 4.75. I initially gave it a rating of 5, but I think I'm a little scared to rate things like 5 stars. I don't know what it is. I don't think I've rated any 5 stars, and I feel like they deserve it, but I don't know, I'm like afraid to do it. Let me know what you guys think. Like, how do you feel rating things 5 stars? Next book I read was The Chamber of Secrets. Again, this one followed, or the movie followed this one very closely, and it still was quite childish. And I didn't like this one as much as the first one, you know? So, but I don't think it deserves like C. So I'm going to put B. The next book that I read was Prisoner of Azkaban. I enjoyed this one more than the first two. It became darker. You know, the characters were a bit more grown, so I kind of related to them better. And this is when the movies start to not follow the books as much,
Fairly sure that was not featured in the books.
or starts to not include as much as what the book has. It had more stuff that I didn't know about, and that was fun for me to learn. So I rated this one, let's see, 4.5. And I'm going to put it in A tier. Next is Goblet of Fire. Yeah. I didn't like this one as much. I rated it 4.25. I think it was the side story with the house elves that kind of threw me off. I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy that part very much. That's just me, I guess. I mean, it was still good. I think there was just too much of them talking about the house elves and stuff. I don't know. That's just me. Yeah. I'm gonna put Goblet of Fire B tier. No Harry Potter deserves to be anything lower than B. And these are my ratings right now. I'm still a new reader. I'm developing, so who knows how I will feel in the future. The next book I read is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. It follows Patrick Bateman as...
I don't know what the that was.
I don't know what the plot is, to be honest. So I DNF'd this book. I got like 50 something pages in. I can't remember. I did have a physical copy. I got rid of it. Yeah. I just don't think I'm gonna read it. It was pretty torturous to read at a certain point. The beginning I liked, and then it started to just feel like it was repeating itself. I mean, every chapter was basically Patrick Bateman describing everything that everyone is wearing, or what everyone is drinking, or his stereotypical views on people, or listing everything he owns. Like that, the chapters spent the whole time doing that. And, you can only take so much of that. I get why people would say that this is a good book, but and I'm okay with gore and horrible things that happen. I can read that. That is not the reason that I DNF'd. Unfortunately for me, American Psycho is going to be F tier. If the book gets really, really good later, then comment below. Tell me to push through or whatever. But yeah. The next book that I listened to is The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. And this is the only nonfiction book on my list. It follows Anne Rule, how she worked with and befriended Ted Bundy. And how she had no idea that he was a psychopathic serial killer. So it was a very interesting story. It could have been shortened. I think there was too much filler in it. For me, it was just okay. I rated it 3.75. The next book is Notes from Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Yeah. I who's the character? What's the name? Did it have? This is a very philosophical book. Talks a lot about just what's wrong with society, basically, and how people treat other people. For me, it felt like I was in a dark Victorian room lit by candles with a bunch of other guys sitting around drinking whiskey, smoking a cigar, and just like debating and chatting. It felt like one guy was pacing back and forth and telling this long story and being dramatic and everything. It was fun. I really liked it. There were some parts that were kind of like boring, I guess. But it's an older book, and that's usually how they kind of feel. Overall, I really did enjoy it. It was my start to Dostoevsky, and I do plan to read more of his work. This is a 2-in-1 book. So this also has the double. For Notes from the Underground, I am going to rate it B tier because I did enjoy it quite a bit. There were some minor flaws to me, and I would recommend it to people, but with caveats. It's definitely not for everyone. The next book is another Harry Potter. We're getting through, okay? Order of the Phoenix. Look how nice this looks. Isn't it cool? I like it. This is my favorite book in this series. It was just really good. The characters are a lot more grown up. It's darker, more dramatic. The pacing is great. We get new characters that are cool and fun. And yeah, it's just a really good time. I flew through this one quite fast too. And this is a big book. Like, as a beginning reader who has not read much in my life, when I saw how long this was, I was intimidated.
This baby is thick.
870 pages. I was like, can I do it? But I did do it, and I really liked it. So Order of the Phoenix, I am going to put A tier because, it was just great. The reason I am not putting any Harry Potter so far in S tier, maybe it's because I already know the stories, so it just didn't have as much of an impact on me. I don't know. The next book that I read was Frankenstein. Yes, I read this because the movie was coming out by Guillermo del Toro. I bought this annotated version. I bought it used, and in the picture they had the dust cover on it, but I received it like this, so I'm a little upset about that. But I do have it. Really cool. If you don't own the book yet, I do recommend this, or if you do own it but you want like another version, this is a really cool version. It has an introduction by Guillermo del Toro. Let me see. I'll show you the inside a little bit here. It just looks really cool too. It does have illustrations in it, and then of course it has annotations. It has the regular text here, and then on the side in green it has the annotations, and there's a lot of them, so it's very detailed and fun. Kind of gives you like a bunch of history about the author and the different versions of the book, because there are different versions. Overall, the story, I mean, I love the story. It's wonderful. It was definitely original for the time, I would say. Mary Marie. You know, I read it pretty quickly. The one thing that has upset me was the ending. It kind of disappointed me. It was like anticlimactic, and I don't know. It just wasn't what I wanted, I guess. But I get it. The story, the meaning of it, you know, the philosophy of it all. I get it for that, but I don't know. The ending just kind of lacked for me. So, Frankenstein, I am going to, I don't know, because overall, I think the story is really good. It's very interesting. And I'm glad I read it because it's very different from how the earlier movies portrayed it. This recent movie by Guillermo del Toro was the most accurate representation of the book. I'm going to rate it B tier. I thought about making it C tier, but I'm going to do B tier. As for the rating, I rated it 3.5. I think I forgot to say the ratings for the last few books. Notes from Underground, 4.25. And then Order of the Phoenix, 4.5. I think I said it. I don't know. The next one I read, which is one that a lot of people are loving right now, and you know, I wanted to hop on that train, is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. I started this series last year. I read this book. I haven't read any of the other books yet, but I am planning to read them all this year. And I know the 8th book is coming out in May, I think. So I might do like a challenge where I try to finish all of the books before that book comes out. Maybe I'll do something like that. But I do plan to catch up on them and read them. But yeah, this was really fun. It's about basically the apocalypse. Carl and his cat, or his ex's cat, get put into this dungeon survival game, basically, and just have to get through these levels to survive. And it's silly. I was not used to reading things like this, so it did take me just a little bit to get into it, because I was like, oh, this is kind of silly, I don't know. But when I started reading it more and more, I really, really got into it. So now I'm like, oh, I gotta get through the rest of the books. Like, I need to get going. I do own some of the books. I have 1, 2, 3, and 5.
What?
Yeah. I'll get the rest. I know that's a weird order. We were supposed to get book 4 as a Christmas present. Someone messed it up and got book 5 instead. So we had 2 book 5s. So we just need to get the book 4. I rated the book 4.75. As for my ranking, I mean, I would absolutely recommend it to everyone. Maybe not my grandma. I don't think she'll understand a lot of it. But it's a very easy, fast read. It's fun. You know, you get to understand the world pretty easily, which I liked. So I am going to put Carl in A tier. Yeah. We'll see. I am hoping that one of the Dungeon Crawler Carl books will be S tier. The next book is The Half-Blood Prince. I rated 4.5, but to be honest, I don't remember a lot from it. I remember, that part. Yeah, I remember that. Just in case person doesn't know. I don't want to give anything away. Too late. But honestly, I don't remember much about it. But I know it was good, It's Harry Potter. So I'm gonna do B tier. The next one is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This follows Linus Baker, who is a caseworker for the Department in charge of magical youth. And basically he goes to like orphanages and stuff and makes sure that they're doing things properly, taking care of the kids and all of that. And so he goes to this orphanage on an island, and just read it and you'll know. Yeah, I'm saying that because I recommend this to everyone. I think it is just like a nice, cozy, easy read that we need once in a while. And I felt like at the time I just really needed this. And when I bought it, I had no idea what it was about. Like, I saw it in the bookstore and I was like, I like the name, the title, and I like the way it looks. So I'm going to buy it. So I bought it and I'm glad I did, because I loved it. The characters are great. The pacing's good. It did have a few issues. I don't know if it was like the writer issue or editing issue or what, but there were some paragraphs that it would like repeat a word or phrase or something, and it just kind of didn't look right to me. And then there were some sentences, just a few, that I'm like, I didn't really understand what it meant. I don't know if it was like an editing issue or what, but it's not that much. You'll still really enjoy it. So if you haven't read it, give it a try. We need cozy reads sometimes. So yeah, I rated it 4.5 because of those issues that I talked about. But overall, I really love it. And there's a poem in here that I still think about sometimes that actually kind of got me a little emotional. Even though I rated this 4.5, I am going to put it S tier for me, because I still do think about it. I didn't realize that there were cozy, easy flowing books out there that I could read and enjoy. So when I read this, it was new and refreshing. And yeah, I can't wait to read the next book, which is Somewhere Beyond the Sea. I don't know if that is a prequel or a sequel. I'm not sure. But I do own it and I'm going to read it. All right. The next book that I read, or listened to actually, was The Housemaid. Yeah, I listened to the whole thing, so I don't have a physical copy. But the narrator did such a great job at the voices, and just the story, it follows Millie. She goes to work at a rich household and lives there in the attic, and things happen. The pacing, the characters, the prose, the whole thing, just everything was great. It was a near perfect book right there. The Housemaid, I am going to put it S tier because I recommend it to everyone. I still think about it. I talked about it a lot. We did gift it to some family members, and yeah, it's just great. I rated it 4.75 because, again, I am afraid to rate things 5 stars. Next book is, what did I read next? Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Emotional, of course, with everything that happens in it, and also it being the last book. I really liked it. We know all the characters and they're all grown up now. A lot of emotional damage, of course. It's fast paced and jam packed with a lot. I feel like the story is just wrapped up very nicely. So even though this is a pretty thick book, it didn't feel that long. So I gave it a 4.25, and I'm gonna put it in A tier because, I feel like it deserves it with everything that it has. The next book that I read, Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. Yes, I started the Robert Langdon series last year. I'm currently reading the Da Vinci Code, and I do plan to get through the whole series this year. That is a goal of mine. What a great book. It was just so fun, very original, great pacing, great characters. Just, you don't know what's around the corner, and it was great. And I also liked that the author did a lot of research on this for his book, and you can tell that he did, and I really like that. He put a lot of work into this. I flew through it pretty quickly, so I had a lot of fun. I felt like sometimes I was, an art degree student having to read art history or something, but what a great read. So Angels and Demons, we are going to put A tier, and we shall see where all the other books rank for it. The last book is The Last Wish, which is my start to the Witcher series. So this one is like a bunch of short stories that are collected and intertwined. And it follows Geralt of Rivia and, his adventures as a witcher. And I like the characters, and many of the stories were quite good. But overall, I was quite disappointed, to be honest. It kind of felt messy to me, and the style of writing would change sometimes, and it was kind of hard to follow at times, which I know can be common with fantasy, but I don't know. It disappointed me. And I had to push through the last few stories. So I'm going to put it D tier. Sorry, Witcher fans. Don't come after me. I am still giving this series a try. I finished Sword of Destiny, and I have Blood of Elves that I'm going to try to finish in February. So I'm trying, okay? And I did like Sword of Destiny much better. So we're on the right path. But yeah, those are all my books. Overall, I feel like I rated them pretty well. I mean, I try to be nice, you know. So unfortunately, some very popular books are down at the bottom. Um, but then again, there are some popular books that are on the top. So yeah, let me know what you think of my ranking. If you agree with all of it. Oh, Angels and Demons, did I say? I rated Angels and Demons 4.75, and The Last Wish 3. Let me know what you think of my ranking, if you agree with a lot of it, or if you think I'm completely off. And also, let me know what you think about rating versus ranking. If you think they're very much the same, or if they are indeed different. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way through, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. I will continue working on myself, working on my editing and style and all that. I'm still figuring it all out. Until next time, keep happy, keep healthy. Bye.